Tensions are rising in the waters around China, with a huge international fleet conducting drills in the Western Pacific and the South China Sea. Here's what you need to know. 3 aircraft carriers from the US and UK combined with a helicopter carrier from Japan to conduct exercises north of Taiwan in the same weekend that China made a record number of incursions into Taiwan's air defense zone. Citing the Japanese Defense Ministry, USNI reports that the carriers operating off the southwest coast of the Japanese prefecture of Okinawa were supported by ships from the Netherlands, Canada, and New Zealand in a fleet totaling 17 that was also pictured with British and American fighter jets overhead. The exercises were characterized by Japan's nationalist paper Sankei Shimbun as an effort to contain China, and that rhetoric may be in response to China's increasingly threatening incursions into Taiwan's air defense zone, with 93 such incidents occurring between Friday and Saturday, plus an additional 56 on Monday, which took the single-day record for most incursions, according to Reuters. The U.S. State Department's position over the weekend was that it was very concerned by China's provocative military activity near Taiwan, which is destabilizing, risks miscalculations, and undermines regional peace and stability, according to the BBC, and significant military activity in the area is ongoing. The United Kingdom carrier Strike Group 21, led by the HMS Queen Elizabeth, announced on Twitter on Monday that it had passed through the Luzon Strait on its way to Singapore, and the New Zealand Navy added that its own HMNZS Te Kaha would be transiting alongside it in the South China Sea. Elsewhere, just over a week ago, the UK's HMS Richmond made a rare voyage by a non-US ship through the Taiwan Strait, according to France 24. The military response from China came through its Eastern Theater Command, which said it sent air and naval forces to shadow the HMS Richmond and directed to leave the strait, according to CBS News. Taiwan News reports that the HMS Richmond went on to take part in exercises with the Vietnamese Navy frigate Dinh Tien Hong on Monday before heading to Singapore, the first ever at-sea naval activity between the two navies, according to USNI News. Of course, these are only the latest developments within the dynamic of increasing tensions between China and much of the rest of the world. The US's new pact with Australia and the UK represents a major expression and cause of tension. So does the increasing activity of the Quad, an informal strategic forum between the US, Japan, Australia, and India that is solidifying into a further anti-Chinese bloc. And so does a 2020 bilateral defense pact between Japan and Australia. But there are also many less prominent signs of escalation and tension around China, both geographically and politically. For instance, although not involved this time, in March the French Defense Ministry announced that a nuclear attack submarine had conducted a patrol in the South China Sea, along with a support ship to underscore freedom of navigation. In addition to this, France sent an amphibious assault helicopter carrier and the frigate on a long-term deployment involving passing through the South China Sea twice. On top of China's attempts to take control of Taiwan against the will of the Taiwanese people, the South China Sea is a source of tension because it is the center of numerous economic, island, and maritime disputes between China, Taiwan, Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei, and the Philippines. The French military tweeted that the ships passed through the Suez Canal on February 25th and conducted exercises with the Egyptian Navy on March 3rd and March 4th.
Chinese government vessels were spotted in waters near the Japan-controlled Senkaku Islands for a record 66th consecutive day on Thursday, June 18th. Citing a spokesman for the Japan 11th Regional Coast Guard Headquarters, the Stars and Stripes reported that 4 Chinese Coast Guard vessels appeared about 18 miles north-northwest of Wotsori Island around 9 a.m. Thursday. Also on Thursday, a Chinese submarine was detected underwater heading west near Amami-Oshima Island, the Japan Times reported, citing the Ministry of Defense. An MSDF patrol aircraft, the Ashigara Aegis guided missile destroyer, and the Kaga helicopter carrier were used to monitor the submarine. Japan has administered the Senkaku Islands since 1972, when the U.S. returned Okinawa to Japanese control. The islands are claimed by Japan, China, and Taiwan and lie between both Japan and China's exclusive economic zones. The islands are surrounded by rich fishing grounds and lie near potential oil and gas reserves.
The U.S. is conducting a large-scale exercise in the Indo-Pacific region that involves a U.S. carrier strike group, a joint air-sea task group from Australia, and a warship from Japan. The joint drills began on July 19th and are centered on Guam Island. Australia's air task group includes FA-18 fighter jets, EA-18G electronic warfare jets, and an E-7A early warning aircraft from the Royal Canadian Air Force No. 77 Squadron. The task force operates from Guam's Andersen Air Force Base. The carrier strike group includes a Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier Reagan and its air wing, the Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser Antietam, and the Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer Mustin. Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force said the Akizuki-class destroyer JS Teruzuki. Australia's naval task group consists of the amphibious assault ship Canberra, which is a helicopter carrier, in addition to a frigate and a replenishment ship. The UK, US, and Australia have announced a security pact aimed at confronting China, whereby Australia will be provided with the technology to build nuclear-powered submarines for the first time, according to the BBC. Australia says it will abide by the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty in not pursuing nuclear weapons, but the move could still indirectly spur the proliferation of nuclear weapons because of the technology it involves and the precedents it sets, according to The Guardian. The risk has been taken to allow Australia's currently diesel-powered navy to match China's technology, with the practical advantages of nuclear submarines being that they can move at faster speeds for longer and more stealthily than conventional ones, according to CNN, which adds that these submarines need to surface less often. But there is also a clear symbolic element to the technology transfer, with one U.S. official explaining to CNN that allowing Australia to be only the sixth country in the world to own nuclear submarines is, frankly, an exception to our policy in many respects. The pact, known as AUKUS, which also covers artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, and cyber warfare, is designed as a response to China's military buildup in the Indo-Pacific, according to the BBC.
For more news animations and explainers, hit the subscribe and bell button to join the Tomo News family. Thanks for watching.